You guys know what this is, and if you don't, it's called the Silicone, and it's a silicone makeup sponge that everyone seems to be raving about, and since it's been sitting in my makeup bag for a couple of months, I decided it's time to give it a try. I'm Susan Yara. I'm here to tell you which products I think make the cut. Now, before I test it out, here are some of the reasons why people like the Silicone. One, it helps you use less product because it doesn't soak it up like a sponge or a brush would. And two, it's easier to clean, so it lasts a long time. For reference, you should replace blending sponges every 3 months at minimum, and that's with regular cleansing. So I usually apply my foundation with the Beauty Blender, good old Beauty Blender, but today I'm gonna do an experiment and I'm going to apply half of it with the Silicone and the other half with the Beauty Blender. Okay, before I apply this, I have to tell you, it feels like a chicken cutlet. I used to do pageants a really long time ago, and we used to, pack it in there in the boobies, and we use chicken cutlets, and that's exactly what this feels like. So I'm already really skeptical of this because it just, it's like a chicken cutlet, but tiny. Anyway, here we go. I'm gonna apply my foundation, and already I can see that it just kind of sits on top of it, which is supposed to be one of the benefits. So, here we go. I was reading the directions and it said to pat it on, which is kind of like the Beauty Blender. Well, I mean, it's really soft and you can see the makeup is just kind of sitting on top of it. So it's not really looking soft on my skin. It's kind of looking like I have a layer of foundation on, but I kind of don't mind it. And that little bit that I used is covering that whole section of my face. I don't know, I kind of don't mind this. I was expecting to not like it at all. I feel like I'm having to pat a lot more than I would with my Beauty Blender. So if you kind of look at it, it doesn't soak in as much. I feel like if you're going for a heavier foundation look, this is really kind of nice. All right. But I'm going second layer, and now second layer is looking like it's a problem. I like to go a little heavier coverage around my eye area before I try to put concealer on. And I don't think it looks very natural. Yeah, I feel like I need to blend it out now or something. I need something like a tissue or a sponge to kind of soak it up a little bit. So that might be where the benefit, like I had to turn it around and still just kind of spreading it instead. So that is what my foundation looks like on this side with the Silicone. It was really easy to put it on. It just looks like a thicker layer of foundation than it normally would, and using a second layer is a little bit too much because it doesn't go anywhere since it's not soaking into the sponge at all. Now for the Beauty Blender. And just a reminder, my Beauty Blender is a little bit damp. So you can see it kind of looks shinier already on the right side. And I feel like that's one of the benefits of the Beauty Blender is it kind of gives you that glowy look while it's blending your foundation in. But I'm already having to re-dip the foundation because it is soaking into the sponge. It looks smoother on this side though. I don't know, I can't decide which side I like better. So you can see that my skin is shinier on the side where I use the Beauty Blender because it's damp. So it gives you, that glowy look that you want sometimes. It's definitely more matte on the left side with the Silicone, but you can see my pores a little bit more on this side. So I feel like this is kind of a heavier foundation look and this is a lighter foundation look, but I do feel like I'm gonna have to put powder on this side and I don't need it on this side. I think I'm still a bigger fan of the Beauty Blender just because I do like that glowy look, and I feel like once I finish my makeup, I'm gonna wanna blend it all out, and I'm okay with wearing a little bit of powder, but it's really interesting to see how this works, and I think if I wanted a heavier everyday look, I would go with this, but I tend to like a lighter glowy look. So I'm gonna still stick with the Beauty Blender, but I'm pleasantly surprised with the Silicone, and I can see why it's one of the #1 selling cosmetic products on Amazon.com. We actually have a story on mixedmakeup.com, so you can go there and read about it. I can see why some people really like it, and I can see why people don't like it too. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Tell me in the comments below, and subscribe to our channel and find us on Instagram @mixedmakeup.